I am super excited for this group because it is what I love to do. It is the one thing that makes me excited. It is systems and processes. I'm a nerd like that. And I just want to really share with everybody kind of how I operate and how do you do the things to, be successful in life, or at least try to be successful. I wouldn't say I have it mastered, but I will say I spent a lot of time learning and a lot of money paying mentors to teach me how to do it. I'm going to jump on and look for myself in Facebook, and then we'll get started. And during this training, I will show you my real calendar. And I also have a treat for you. So I only advertised that I was going to show you the perfect week, but I'm also going to show you the preloaded year. And it's how I plan the year as well. So we're going to talk about the perfect week, which is how do I plan my day to day? And the preloaded year is bigger picture. How do I arrange my travel? How do I look at, well, we can explain the perfect week is the micro, where the preloaded year is the macro. And so I have templates for you for the preloaded year that I'll share during this teach as well. So super excited. There's lots of people on here watching. Yay. And hello, sexy. Yes, thank you. I try. So we will get started. And because it's 2 minutes. We still have two more minutes. And I explained that originally this group had started, because if you don't know what the heck you're doing in this group, or how did I join Service Success, it started as a $1 million hiring strategies, because I wanted to give hiring tips, but essentially I figured out that Libby's more than just hiring. I'm actually all about creating frameworks or processes. It's the organizing side of me, hence why one of my businesses is called Organize It. And it's how I grow and scale my business, my life, and how I create consistency. And when I teach this, I know people are going to say, oh, this is boring. I don't want to live my life by schedule. But I'm going to push back, and I have something for those people, those creatives that say, oh, I don't want to live my life. It's so predictable. I have some pushback for that. And then, I was on stage speaking at Service Autopilot. No, it wasn't Service Autopilot. It was the Field Edge conference. And they had asked me, what did you want to speak on? And they said, you want to speak on hiring? And I said, no, actually, I don't. I want to speak on the one thing that business owners need. And I spoke on playbooks, how to create playbooks. And because I know that is the number one struggle for business owners. It's creating processes to scale businesses, to bring down chaos. And so that talk is the talk that then I got invited to talk at Sales Boost, and I gave that talk at CBF on stage. And so it is that, and then that's when I decided to make this group more about what is the one thing that business owners crave. It's consistency in the business. A few people have come to visit my office, and they're like, this is the most boring office in the world. And it's because of so much consistency, so many processes that we've built out that make our office so mundane that it's ironic that it's so quiet and weird in our office, but it's because we built it that way. So we are 1 minute after. We'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to dive right in. So, the topic on this one is really 2024 reimagined. It's mastering proactive energy. So when I first started in my organizing journey, I got, believe it or not, I hold a certificate in time management. So I'm KonMari certified. I have a few certificates in professional organizing, time management. But I'm going to tell you right now, time management is a joke. It is a crock of crap. There's no such thing as time management. It doesn't exist. So stop trying to do it. because you cannot manage something that you have no control over. We cannot control time. It moves at the same pace no matter what we do. So we cannot make it go faster and we cannot make it go slower. So I want everybody right now to stop trying to manage their time. There is no such thing as time management, and I'm certified in it. So just stop. That's why we can't figure it out. That's why we're on this never-ending hamster wheel that it's like we're a glutton for punishment. It feels like it's never going to stop. Like we can't catch up. And it's because it doesn't exist. So this is energy management is what I want to, this is what we're talking about. We are trying to manage the energy we have and where it's most effective. And so it's for service businesses success. And so we're going to get into first the perfect week. But some of you guys may not know who I am, so here's my quick little intro. I own Organize It. I am a coach for Debbie Sardone, and I own WootRecruit. We do recruiting. WootRecruit sponsors this service success Facebook group, so they pay for everything it costs to do this. Thank you, WootRecruit. And I own Service Cart, and I'm KonMari certified, and I still hold that certification and pay and renew it every year, even though I don't practice in the field anymore. Because organizing is actually probably the one thing I hold the closest to my heart. And I always think I want to go back in the field and do it until I think about it twice. But these are the things that I do, and I do every day. Plus, on top of that, I have 3 kids that are functioning. Well, one of them is a functioning member of society. He's 25. He runs my marketing for Organize It. And he runs the marketing for Joanne Brachia, and he loves Thy Neighbors marketing, so he's doing a great job. And I have Austin, and then Yaya, and then, believe it or not, I do all this, and I'm still happily married. Never been better. And I'm going to show you guys some of the things we do personally as well in the preloaded year and in the perfect week. Because when we own businesses as entrepreneurs, I'm sorry to tell you, there is no separation. There isn't. I was on a panel with an amazing guy, and I don't even know how I got on this panel. There was some major heavy hitters on this panel. I kind of thought they just needed a girl. Maybe I was just underestimating myself. And it was Roger Wakefield. I was just on his podcast. He is huge in the trades. And someone asked a question about how do you balance, like work-life balance? And he goes, I don't. Because if you want to make it, like you got to work. And so his answer was real. And I loved his answer because it wasn't fluffy. And so in my perfect week, I'm going to show you how kind of I mix some things in or how I plan it. Because I do work a lot. I'm not going to lie. There's no such thing as the 4-hour work week, like that book. If you read it, you would know it's not real. Some people just read the title and thought, oh my God, I can just work 4 hours a week. And so the perfect week is great for people looking for balance. It's really great for people looking for balance. If you're feeling overwhelmed, or if you're trying to run, I see Corey is on Facebook watching, dude. He opened a new business, and I commented on it, and I said, congratulations. Welcome to the new hell of running and owning 2 businesses. I said, it's an amazing journey and I love it. And I wouldn't have it any other way. But the struggle is real. It is real. But if you're running multiple businesses, this is something that you want to look at, or if you're trying to juggle children, or one business and kids and a family, or even just hobbies. This is a real struggle. So the perfect week, what is it? It is a way for you to take full control over your life. It is really, in a sense, a way for you to take full control over your life. And why is that? Well, because there is no such thing at all as multitasking. It doesn't exist either. So when I first started organizing, I told you that I'm certified in time management. And well, it doesn't exist either. But multitasking doesn't exist. You have to take full control over these things. So without taking full control, we're just constantly in a reactive state. So you need to eliminate these things. So by taking full control, you're eliminating any buffer time, you're eliminating gaps in between, you're optimizing your energy, and you're working at your best times. So you may think that I work a lot, and I do work a lot. But what I found is I work best if I can take full control and work during my best time of the day. There's this great book. I know many of you have read it because I've recommended it. It's called EPTs, the Entrepreneur Personality Type. I actually still have it here because I look at it all the time. It looks like this. And he talks about, if you're an entrepreneur, how sparkly and special you are. But I learned that I need to control my environment. And if I can do that, I can work at an optimal capacity during certain times of the day. So I don't actually even start working till 10:30. And I'm going to show you guys this because I have a routine in the morning that I do, that if I can do these things, man, I can work at full capacity. And so you're optimizing your energy, finding the times you work best. You're eliminating bleed time. Bleed time, what is that? Oh my God, this interview ran for 45 minutes when it was only supposed to be 15. And it allows you to spot net time. What is net time? Net time is amazing. Net time is no extra time needed. Net time means, and I did it this morning. I was getting dressed while listening to a chapter of a book because I'm reading a book and I'm supposed to re-listen to this chapter every day until I have it memorized. It's an assignment. And so I listened to it while I was getting ready. No extra time needed, right? So while you jog, you could do your learning, right? While you drive, you could watch a module. So you can then spot net time while you do this. So this is in the perfect week. This is what the perfect week is for. The other thing is you're going to learn to stack your tasks. And this is true even for like your scheduler in your office. I saw my organized office doing some stuff and I was like, what the heck are they doing? Like, this is dumb. And she was doing things the second an email came in. But do you know how unproductive task switching is? Your brain takes 15 to 20 minutes to switch back. So if you can learn to task stack, like for those of you that do my stacked interviews, it's phenomenal. Do you know how much time you save? So, the next time you need to like look at an ad campaign, meet with somebody, you need to do weekly sales calls or planning. I'll show you what my Wednesdays look like. And we're going to get into my calendar here in a second. Oh, you need to write blogs. I'm going to show you what my Mondays look like. All day on Monday, all I do is record video because those videos go into blogs for Organize It, WootRecruit, and Service Cart. Because I've task stacked. So I have to look pretty on Mondays. But guess what? Who cares what I look like on Wednesdays? Because all I do is meetings on Wednesdays. I wear jogging pants and a baseball cap. So, you're going to learn how to task stack. And then next, you're going to learn to respect the no. Now, I sucked at this. I royally sucked at this. You're going to learn to respect the no and beware of the yes. Everyone else has the same 24 hours in a day. I do. Russell Brunson does. Who I don't know who else is famous right now. Dan Martell. They're billionaires. And I'm not. So why are they? Well, they respect the no better than I do. And I'm horrible at saying yes to stuff. And so this is going to help you learn to respect the no. So the problem is you don't account for all your time. This is going to help you account for all of your time. It's going to be black and white on the calendar. It's going to be easy to say yes easy to say yes to an impromptu meeting, or an extra engagement, or a night out last minute. It's going to be easy. When you design your week ahead of time and you account for all your time, you understand exactly what to say no to in order to say yes, and you're going to exactly what to say in order to say yes to. Now, that doesn't mean, I'll give you a great example. That doesn't mean when you get a phone call from someone like Roger Wakefield, that if he says, hey, you want to be in my podcast? I looked at my husband, I said, I'm flying to Dallas tomorrow. That doesn't mean you can't make exceptions, but I looked at my schedule and I knew exactly what I could do. Because Roger Wakefield has like 1 million views on his YouTube channel. So that was a person I want to know. But I knew exactly what I could say in that moment, because Fridays are my creative days. So I could exactly in that moment know what I could respect the yes and the no. Respect the no and beware of the yes. So I was horrible at this at the beginning. I just love to help, and I get myself into trouble, because the one thing we have to remember is that every time we say yes to something, we're saying no to something else. Like, that phrase stuck with me forever. And so what are you saying no to every time you say yes? Is it your kids? Is it your husband? Is it your partner? Is it your business? Is it your dreams that you're saying no to when you're saying yes to something else? And so really think about it. And, you know, it's a very strong message. But if it doesn't align with your goals, I'm trying to find my screensaver because I have this really good saying on it. Let me see if I can find it. Because if it doesn't align with your goals, it's just a distraction. I can't get it to open. If it doesn't align with your goals, it is purely a distraction. So don't do it. And then here's for my creatives who says, I don't want to live by a calendar. Believe it or not, this can help you be more creative. Creatives worry that this is going to dampen the creativity. It's not going to leave any room for spiciness or to be impulsive. But in fact, when you plan, you have time for fun and creativity. When you don't plan, you're just too busy putting out fires and dealing with chaos. Can anybody in the chat put an I if you can relate with that? Like I can. But I want to say it again. When you plan, you have time for fun and creative. When you don't plan, you're dealing with chaos and putting out fires. So it leaves you a ton of time for fun and spiciness and creativity, and to imagine and to sit outside and read a book and drink a cup of coffee. And so lastly, before we get into the calendar, you're going to build it. You have to be willing to repeat it over and over and over. You're going to honor it and respect it. You're going to honor the calendar and respect it. It's going to be about energy and not time. You're going to look at it about energy. When do I operate the best? If it's the most important thing, it has to happen on Monday and Tuesday. No questions asked. It can't be important and you're going to put it on Thursday. And then important work goes first. Oh, I just said that. Put everything else. Everything else. Batch it and stack it. Batch it and stack it is the best thing ever. Batch it and stack it. I cannot encourage this enough. And yes, this is my real calendar. So the way the perfect week works, and it's a little bit of a mess. The way the perfect week works is the gray is what you want to happen. I want to see if I can zoom in. Let me see if I click on this. Oh no, I'm going backwards. Sorry. The gray is what you want to happen. That is my perfect week. I want to wake up every day at 5:30. I want to exercise till 7. I lift weights for 30 minutes. I manifest and or do yoga. And, I read, I review company numbers, I get ready. That's my perfect morning, perfect week. The gray is your perfect week. So how I do it is I create a sub calendar. Let me undo all my stuff here. I create a sub calendar. Right now, I have a little bit of an overlap because it's not perfect right now. And so what you have to think of is this is a body of work that changes. And this is what I live by. This is what I go by. Everything in here, if we look at it, I'm free. I'm free. It's not marked as busy. They're just placeholders so that I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm not wandering around in circles. You guys are seeing everything from like, who's cooking dinner? Who's cooking dinner tonight? Oh, Chris is cooking dinner tonight. To the time I set aside to answer social media or to respond to social media posts, to what time I go to bed. There's free time in here because I haven't filled it out yet. It's an ever-changing body that's going to fill out as you figure out what your perfect week looks like. I've been doing this for about a year, and it has changed my life. If it's important, it goes first. Every Monday I record. I start with creating content for the podcast, for the webinars, for the YouTube channel. And Monday afternoon, we record. Nobody bothers me. The phones don't ring. I sit in a room and I lock the door and we pump it out. And I do that every Monday and I do it again every Tuesday. Every Wednesday, I do company meetings. And they stack because then I do company meetings. I either remind myself, yes, to stand up or to go outside. And then every Thursday, if someone wants to meet with me, it's a meeting request. I have different partnerships or meeting requests. Today I had 6 meetings. I'll show you, I'll turn my calendar back on so you guys can see how they fit in some of these slots. And then on Fridays, I try to keep it a day to like learn, imagine, like let's do some extra reading because I need some creativity. You can't just work. The one thing I have to tell you is I never went to Sunday brunch every Sunday until I put this in this calendar. Now I go to Sunday brunch every freaking Sunday. It's amazing. Every Sunday. Only because I put it in here and now it's consistent and we know what's going to happen. The one thing that I have to say that it's changed is my workouts have been so consistent. The manifesting, the reading, and above all is taking, I don't think I take the whole hour, but I block the whole hour to review my company numbers. I fired about 3 people over this. I just sit there with my coffee and I look at call logs and I look at some emails and I look at like some reports. This has been amazing for me because we don't take the time to do these things. And so what happens is from there, if I need to do stuff, I've color coded all of my stuff I'm going to leave the marketing calendars off. I've color coded all of my stuff to match. So WootRecruit is green, Organize It is orange, Service Card is blue, and my live is red right now. So company meetings, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 yesterday, all company meetings. I had 6 company meetings. I don't block anything in this time because we're recording. It's the same thing. We're not scheduling anything. We just know record time. When I schedule it, it is with another person. These are meetings with another person. If I'm by myself flying alone, like I know what I'm supposed to be doing. It's blocked out. This requires another person in here, right? These are company meetings with other people. Then they're put into the blocks. And so I do have an assistant that she knows when she schedules something, that's why they fit in here. She knows exactly where they go. So if you work with someone in your office, they would know exactly where they fit in because it's like a puzzle piece. They only fit in things within your perfect week if they fit there. Like she scheduled these beautifully. Like I didn't schedule none of these. So if you're running off a calendar or you have someone doing schedules, or even if you do it, you don't have to ask, you don't have to double check. You know exactly where it goes. You know exactly what you're doing. So it's not perfect. It does change. So it's an ever moving, like evolving, like body of water. So a good example is during the summer when school was out, it kind of went to crap and I had to readjust it because Austin was home from school. Yaya didn't have to be picked up. So it kind of is an ever moving body. Because you're going to see if I go back, look, it kind of got messed up here, but this didn't work anymore. So I deleted it to say, let me just work like this for the week and see what will work that week. So I adjusted as I grow as a person and as my priorities grow, the calendar, my perfect week adjusts to how I grow. So that has 100%. And we hold our date nights here. So how I said, it helps with your marriage. Why? Because we plan our date nights. They're held in spots. Our kids know when they are. Our family time is held. So you're carving out that time for people that are important to your life, that you want to make sure that that time is accounted for. Therefore, if someone asks you if you can do something, you know exactly if you can or if you can't. There's no more questions anymore. So that is the perfect week. Next, we have the preloaded year. And so I'll give you guys a link. Let me copy it. For the preloaded year. And the preloaded year, let's see. You guys got the link. I'll put it here in the Facebook chat. The preloaded year is more macro than, oops, where did it go? I think I put it in the comments. The preloaded year is amazing because it's more on a higher level. The preloaded year, actually, let me find my preloaded year real fast. The preloaded year is great because it is a high level view of the things you plan to do. So these are our big rocks. This is travel. These are things that don't go on your day-to-day calendar because they're bigger picture. So, and these are for more saying like rest time. So this is my actual preloaded year. This is how many times I will be traveling in 2024 so far. And I have not added this one. This one needs to be added because it is an ISSA event. So this is my travel. I've made pink personal and I've color coded all of my groups and businesses. So it's been amazing. So if someone says, hey, do you want to go on a trip? Do you want to go here? Let's go on vacation. You put your vacations here, you put your rest days. So with the preloaded year, it's about bigger picture than it is the day-to-day. You want to look at possibly your biggest rocks in life. Do you want to go on a trip to Japan, right? Do you want to open another office in another area? What are those big things? You want to put them in this bucket and they go before anything else. One of the things me and Chris put on our preloaded year for last year was I wanted to take my entire family on a vacation, and I did. I took them all to Mexico and I paid for it. And it was one of those things that you want to do, but if I would have never put it on my preloaded year and planned for it and saved for it, all year, I would have never have accomplished it. And I took my mom to Mexico for Thanksgiving, and my dad and my brother and my sister. And that way, it was one of those things where you can't just decide on that last minute. You have to plan these things. I was having a great conversation with my son. He's 25, and we all reflect during the New Year's. And he said to me, he goes, Mom, he says, I just feel like I made a lot of mistakes. He's like, I feel like I just could have done more this last year. And I said, well, sweetie, you don't look at it that way. I feel like you look back and you say, oh man, look how far I've come. I learned that I could do it this way next year. And I said, things don't just happen. Do you think your mom just did these things because they just happened? No, your mom planned for all of this stuff to happen. And so things don't just happen. We plan for them to happen. So, we have to plan these big rocks. So the preloaded year is the big pictures, the big trips, the work travel, the vacations. And it's looking at batching pebbles into bigger rocks. So a great example of batching some pebbles into some bigger rocks is all that travel I'm doing. I'm trying to find podcasts I can be guest on while I'm in those cities. Right? So what can I do while I'm there? I want to batch little pebbles into bigger rocks. So look at what things can I batch together to do a big rock as well. The next thing is, and this is one of my favorite topics, is maintenance. We work ourselves into the ground. So you see in my preloaded year, my purple was my personal. We have to account for personal time. I'll go back to my preloaded year. I took this whole week off. I'm going to take the whole month of July off. And then, I'll take some more time off in the middle. But we have to account for personal time. Athletes do it. Actors do it. Successful professionals do it. There's a great book called The Power of Full Engagement. And it talks about corporate athletes and how they can continue to grow and build and scale businesses. And what they do is they learn how to work at full capacity to the point of breaking. And they know how to get to just that point of breaking and stop before they break and rest and unplug. Completely unplug. And then the next time they come back and work to full capacity, they can work a little bit further. And then they do it again and further. But the problem we have as small business owners, we never do that. We never fully unplug. We just keep pushing ourselves. I can see every single person's head softly shaking. Yes. And so we're always in a constant state of burnout because even when we go on a vacation, we have our phone, we're thinking about it. And I felt like when I was reading that book, I felt like the guy was following me around. And then I was thinking to myself, is that why we see famous people work really hard and do these things? And then when they party freaking hard because they're unplugging. Is that why they make it into the media? That they partied a little too hard? So we don't do that as small business owners. We don't unplug enough. So Dan Sullivan talks about this, and I loved his analogy of so he talks about this as a free day. There's free days, there's focus days, and there's buffer days. And we don't do this enough. So free days are completely free of anything, right? Even on Saturdays and Sundays, we don't do this. No phones, no technology, completely free. Focus days are those days where we make money. And then there are buffer days. Those buffer days are those are things that we work on to make the money. So he named them something: free days, focus days, buffer days. So we need to learn that we need more free days, but real free days. And I've been so guilty of this too. I've recently learned that that is where our creative comes from. If you're feeling burnt out, Like your entrepreneur sparkly brain is gone. You don't have any more ideas. You're burnt, like you're overwhelmed. It's because you need to take time off. And I know that sounds so counterintuitive, but because we're not made, if you read this book, we're not made to constantly be working. We're not made for it. In this book, it says we can sit in any seat. We can do anything, but we can't do it continuously. We can't. And so like we can sit in a sales seat, but we have to make a goal and say, okay, I can sit here and do it until this date or this revenue. And then I have to hire and move myself out. And then I go to the next seat and move myself out. But we kind of tend to stay in these seats or get stuck in them. And we're getting burnt out. So you need to schedule your maintenance days on this calendar. What days are totally free? And these are a lot of travel days for me for work, but I will tell you when I travel for work, I like it because I do find ways to totally unplug because I'll go a day early. It's going to sound horrible, but I get away from my kids. So I'll go a day early and I can sit in a hotel room by myself and relax or go to a spa and really unplug and truly unplug. And then that creativity comes back and the ideas and the excitement that I had when I first started. So learning how to kind of stack it on top and really get back to why we started doing this is so important. So if you're feeling burnt out, schedule some maintenance in there. And then once you do that, once you put all those travel days in there, those rest days, then whatever's left, you can insert. Somebody says, hey, you want to go here? Hey, you want to go on a trip? Hey, you want to do this? Then you can look at it and say, oh, yeah, sure. Or, yeah, you know what? Nope, that's too close to my rest day. Sorry, I got maintenance scheduled on that day. I can't make it. Then you can honor yourself, honor your schedule, honor your perfect week, and honor your perfect year. So essentially, you have to work the plan. The perfect week is a plan. The perfect year is a plan. They work together because, again, the perfect week is the micro. It's the day-to-day. It's what I want my week to look like. It's how I want my week to run. Perfect year is how do I want my year to run. It's the macro. So this is how I run my week, my days. I stack every single thing. I just bang it out. Like some people like 6 meetings in a row. I'd rather do 6 meetings in a row and stack them all in one day than spread them out all in one week. Because I was doing that at first and it was truly, to me, like a wasted use of time. So I'm happy to answer any questions. We've been on for, 35 minutes, not too long. Happy to answer any questions. We have quite a few people watching on Facebook. We have a handful of people in here. But if you have questions about the preloaded year, perfect week, I'm happy to answer them now. I'd like to hear from anybody in the chat or on Facebook. What did you guys need to hear? What did you like? What did you think you're going to take away and use? That was me. Anything? Nothing? No questions. Oh, wait, hold on. I can't hear you guys. Hold on. Somebody talking? No. Okay. Well, I thought someone unmuted, but I don't see that anybody unmuted. Well, if we don't have any questions, oh, wait, there's stuff in the chat. Okay, hold on. Really like the way you set up your Google Calendar. Remember, the Google Calendar is a sub calendar, and you want to set everything to free. That way it doesn't block out your calendar in case you have your calendar connected to anything like your recruiting or your Calendly account or anything like that. Having the life go the way you want it to. Yes, by design. Exactly, Shannon. That is the whole point, is you're controlling it. It isn't controlling you. Could you explain batch and stack a little bit more? Yeah, batch and stack. So batch and stack is pretty much the same thing. So stack means I have to do meetings. So I'm going to do all of my meetings in the same day. So I'm stacking them all together. Let me share my screen so I can just show you quickly an example. So here's an example. So I'm stacking 1, 2, 3, and I took a break, 4, 5, 6 meetings in a row. I'm stacking them all in a row because they're all on Zoom. They all require me to be in the same frame of mind, right? They're all level 10s, guys. Level 10, team meeting, level 10. That was with that's a level 10. We don't call it, it's a weekly meeting. A same page, if you know what no, that's not that was supposed to be a same page. Labeled same page, but they're all meetings. They're all the same thing. So I have to be in the same frame of mind. So I don't need to switch mind frames. I don't need to switch tasks. I don't need to switch softwares. I don't even need to move or eat or do anything. So I can just keep going. Same thing with today. It was a marketing meeting. It was about WootRecruit vision marketing, same thing. Marketing, stack. Another Larson Media did an interview, and then this is Jen. That was another interview. So that was an interview, and that was an interview. So we're stacking them if they're similar together because you're not changing your frame of mind, because it takes you, this is a proven fact, 15 to 20 minutes to change your frame of thinking. Or even softwares, if you're like, I have to switch from this software to that software. Oh, what was I doing? I forgot. Let me get ready. I have to prepare. So I'm picking the same thing. And so what I'm saying is, in here, all of my company meetings go on Wednesday and they stack them all together. And then anyone who wants to meet with Libby, like if it's an interview or if it's a marketing company, they go on Thursday and only Thursday. And if they can't meet with me on Thursday, then they don't get anything. Sorry. So that is stacking. So on Wednesday, I literally wear jogging pants and like a hoodie. Why? Because I don't care what I don't care what I look like, so I don't have to get ready. So it's managing my energy, because I can be comfortable, and I know that because I know what I'm doing on certain days. Like when I record on these days, I have to look nice. I have to wear a hat because my team said I have to wear a hat in every video now. My house has to be quiet, or I have to go to so you exactly know what's happening, so you can prepare. There's nothing interrupted or unexpected. So you're batching everything of the same thing together. A great example is I had a scheduler, and she would stop what she was doing every time we got I can see Lisa's watching on Facebook. She's going to laugh because Lisa's my office manager. And every time she got an email for a tip, the cleaner, she would stop what she was doing and she would go in our software and do the tip, put the email in the file, because we file all our emails and organize it. And she would do that. And then she would piddle around, and then she would go back to what she was doing. And I was like, and I found this out because I did a time audit report, the time analysis sheet of what they did all day for like a week. And I was like, why are you doing that 5 times a day? Like, doesn't make any sense. I said, it's not due till Thursday. And you can also run a report and get all of it at the same time. Why are you doing it each time the email comes in, one at a time? And she goes, oh, because the email's there. I have to do it. It can't sit there. And I said, Yes, it can. That's like the biggest waste of time I've ever seen in my life. And so I said, no, you're going to batch it all at the same time. You're going to just do it all at once on Thursday morning. You're going to pull a report, and it's going to take you 5 minutes instead of 5 minutes 50 times. That is batching and stacking because it's so much more time efficient. Because if you're paying someone $20 an hour, I want you to figure out how much that cost. And your time is worth more than that. And just think of how much time it takes you to switch your mind back over to whatever you were doing. So things can sit there, things can wait. Just like I saw Lynn's face laugh when I said, you can only meet with me on Thursday. And if you don't want to meet with me, then too bad. That's the only day you can do it. Like, that's it. Because I can't have all these random meetings anywhere because like I'm trying to work in my optimal like efficiency. And like, if I got to like stop and do an interview and then over here with a marketing company and then over here like that, it's like, you can't do that and expect to just be at your like your prime efficiency, like operating at the 1% that you can. So you have to figure out how do you operate, what time of the day, what days of the week do you operate the best? And you start to build your perfect week around that. Like, what am my top 1%? And I lied. I don't start working at 10:30. I start working at 10. I'm sorry. I thought it was 10:30. So hopefully this was helpful. It was insightful. Let's see. I just want to make sure I answer the questions. I entered the batching and stacking. How are some events crossed off? Because we didn't do it. I declined the event. That's why the event is crossed off. We both declined the event. Somebody said, why is it crossed off? Is this similar to block scheduling? It's similar to block scheduling, but it's when you do block scheduling, you're picking a block of time that you want to work on a certain task, right? Versus I'm thinking of, mine is more of who do I want to meet with, or when do I want to work in my optimal time? So it's very similar. So I'm thinking of stacking it versus blocking it. But you can think of it as the same way. It's almost the same concept. Because I think of stacking more efficiently to optimize time versus blocking is like, oh, I'm just going to block this time. But is that your most effective time? Do you operate at capacity at that time? Because here's the thing, as entrepreneurs, we can get more work done than the average person in 5 minutes than they can in 8 hours. When we're working at our best time. But when is that? Because Chris gets so mad at me. He's like, how the heck can you get so much work done? Because I'll ignore everybody, the phone, even my kids, when I'm like in work mode. But you just have to find those times. When are they? Can you clarify when you create a time block? Where, how do you keep a checklist of tasks? Christine? I can't hear you. Hold on. It could be me. It could be me. Hold on. Technology is only convenient when it works. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Okay. Now talk. Yes, it was me. Okay, hold on. Speaker, microphone. Hold on. For some reason, I can't hear. And I don't know why. Okay. Hold on. Okay. All right, I can hear now. Yes. Yes. So I do have another tool I use for to-dos. No, you can't do that on a Google Calendar. You can integrate a sheet. So my to-dos are separate. I use 90 to capture my to-dos. Um, it's just a software. Like I don't endorse it or even recommend it. um, um, so I do run my to-dos in another software. I just slightly put what's inside, like the podcast, webinars, and guests. Um, but I'm constantly in 90 checking off stuff. We put projects. I use Trello for projects and I use 90 for to-dos. Uh, so yes, it's not inside here. Yeah. Let's see. I think that's all the questions, guys. So it was a great talk. If you ever have any questions that come up along the way, again, it's not about perfection. It's about trying it and changing it as you go and respecting the process and being okay with falling off the wagon. Guess what? If I fall off the wagon and I decide to go have brunch at noon, I know exactly where to pick up at 12:45 on Tuesday. It's time to start recording podcast. That's the point of this, is that you exactly know where to start if you fall off the wagon or if you sleep in one day. Like the point isn't that I have to live by this like this. The point is that if something does happen, or if Austin, I was supposed to drive him to Fort Lauderdale yesterday for a basketball game. The point is, I know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing if my day gets interrupted and I have to pick up in the middle of the day. So that we're not wandering around saying, oh, I know I'm supposed to be doing something important and I'm not sure what that was. It's so that we have control of our energy and we're directing it and using it the way we want. So guys, thank you for joining me. If you have questions, just feel free to put them in the Facebook group. And next month, I would love to hear from everybody. What system or process are they lacking or are they wanting in their business? I have tons of ideas. I have customer service, marketing, hiring a sales lead, hiring an ops manager. What system and process are you looking for in your business? Where's the gap? Maybe Libby has something in her Google Drive to help fill that gap. Guys, have a great night.